When does a Social Security earnings test apply? All right, so I got an email from my man Scott here. He goes, hey Josh, I met with my HR personnel as part of my pre-retirement planning. One question I have for you is regarding the Social Security income limit. Currently, if I make more than $19K a year and before my full retirement age, Social Security will reduce my Social Security payment. Does the income limit apply to income I made in the year I retire before starting to receive Social Security, or only after the income I made after receiving Social Security? And then he goes on to say, let's say I make $60,000 in the first half of the year from January to June, and then retire in July. If I start collecting Social Security in July, will I be penalized? So good question, Scott. So I appreciate that. So then what I do is I go over to SavvySocialSecurity.com. And I've been a member here for many, many years. And Elaine Floyd is the person in charge of this over at horsesmouth.com. And I go to Q&A, and I just typed in working while receiving Social Security. And Elaine has an answer. So we're going to go in right here. One second. Under the first year monthly earnings test, they look at earnings after the start of benefits. As long as this guy, Scott, earns less than X amount of dollars a month, and whatever $1,500 is, about $19,000 a year, after starting benefits, there will be no withholding regardless of how much he earned prior to application. All right, so they look at the first, they look at earnings after the start of benefits. All right, and so in this case, my man Scott, as long as, if he were to work even part-time, as long as he worked less than made less than $1,500 a month, after starting benefits, they had no withholding. So the only thing that would affect Scott here is if he made more than $1,520 after a month after starting benefits, he would have benefits withheld. But again, under the first year monthly earnings test, they look at earnings after the start of benefits. I hope that helps, because it's a pretty important question, and I don't have the answer for that. I had to look it up, and it's okay to look stuff up, my friends. You know, anyone who says, oh, off the top of their head, I tell you, unless all they do is Social Security all the time, nothing wrong with looking up questions. Nothing wrong. And that's what I told him. I said, you know something, Scott, I'm not sure. Let me get back to you on that. He said, I appreciate it. So there you go. Good to know. Of course, I would say if you're still working, don't take Social Security. I mean, there's a couple of times it makes sense if you have young children or something like that. But generally speaking, don't do it. All right. Love to hear your thoughts. See ya.